And in the days that we live nowadays, we really don't need much more than sticking to the Quran, the Kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to the Sunnah and the Hadith, the pure Hadith from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Quran, we have it in our homes and in our hearts, and we need to connect to it and relate to it, yes. But the Hadith, subhanallah, not many of us really pay attention to the heritage, the legacy of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So we have books of Hadith that are constantly attacked, the Sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at large, being attacked and being not really respected as it is supposed to. وفي الماضي, in the past, the early generations, Sahaba and those who came after them, when somebody would say قال رسول الله, it was narrated from Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everybody would pay attention. Sayyidina Imam Malik, he used to, before he gives talk about a hadith, narrate a hadith from a Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was from like the second generation that came after Sahaba. He would go take a shower and be ready because he would speak the words of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is from the one that was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Simple hadith probably doesn't need much of a comment. All it needs is open heart and open mind, and to get the maw'idha and to get the benefit of it. Continuation of the topic we touched on in Salat al-Jum'ah or Khutbah al-Jum'ah, Abwab Sifat al-Qiyamah. This is the book of Imam al-Tirmidhi, one of the famous collections of the hadith from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Few hadith to give us an idea about how this day is like the day of judgment, the day of standing. From the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said, "Ma minkum min rajul." There is not a single person of you, إلا سيكلمه ربه يوم القيامة, except that his Lord will talk to him on the day of judgment. وليس بينه وبينه ترجمان, and there is no translator in between. There is no one to interpret that. Think about that, and just get it to get into your heart. Not a single person of you, the kalam of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, except that his Lord will talk to him one on one. وليس بينه وبينه ترجمان ثم ينظر أيمن منه فلا يرى شيئا إلا شيئا قدمه. He will look at his right side and he would see nothing but his actions, something that he presented. ثم ينظر أشأم منه فلا يرى شيئا إلا شيئا قدمه. He look left and he find nothing but his actions. The actions that we are right now in dunya في بحبوحة الدنيا. As long as the student is in the year, during the year, it's not yet the test time, you have this kind of bahbuha and a kind of relief. You still have time to work, still have time to study. You can delay, you can say, maybe this work is not due right now, or the test is, I still have a few weeks for the test. This is bahbuha. This is kind of relaxed now. So it's dunya now, that Allah would not question you, but in that day, in that specific moment, you will have nothing in your hand but your actions. And in this dunya, this is the time for the action. You will look at his right, you see nothing but action. You will look at his left, he sees nothing but his own actions. ثم ينظر تلقاء وجهه فتستقبله النار. And he looks in front of him and he will see nothing but the fire. Obviously, this is somebody that has a bad actions. Then giving a comment on that, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "من استطاع منكم أن يقي وجهه حر النار ولو بشق تمرة فليفعل." So he said, if anybody of you can get a protection from it for his face, even by as little as shiq tamra, half a date, like you give it in sadaqah, any little action, this is the time to do it right now. Do not belittle any action. So Nabi said, even if by half of a date, if you can protect your face from the fire by this little of thing that you give fi sabilillah, do it. So again, any good deed is needed from anybody. And we're talking about volunteering now. We're talking about giving time for your masjid, for your community, for the youth, for our kids. We need a lot of volunteers, not only 10 or 20. We need every single person of the masjid to give back to the community in terms of money, in terms of effort, in terms of experience. It's not only going to be those few people. We will run out of people if we do not see volunteers come. Why do I say that? It's in the hadith. Wallahi, it's in the hadith. You see, you look right, no actions, but you're nothing but your actions. Left your actions. I volunteered in that day. I give sadaqah. I was good to my family. I did anything good that would work on that day. May Allah give us the good deeds, inshallah. The famous hadith that we know and memorize. But we always need to be in constant state of reflection on those texts of Islam. لا تزول قدم ابن آدم يوم القيامة من عند ربه حتى يسأل. Your feet, the feet of the children of Adam will not be removed. You will not be dismissed from that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala حتى يسأل, until he will be questioned عن خمس, about 5 things. What are the 5 things we'll be questioned about? Not to put you in the spot. Famous عن عمره. He will be questioned. We have a couple of narrations that put the order in a different way. The first one always is going to be عن عمره, his lifetime, his time. Allah give you time, Allah give you age. He didn't put you here in 70 or 60 years, more or less, and vacation. He put you here and he will ask you. He put you for 100, he put somebody else for 30, only 30. So he will question you based on the time that he gave you. عن عمره فيما أفناه. How did he spend it? What did he use it for? وعن شبابه. This, usually number 2 is youth, which still has to do with his lifetime. But especially this youth, and we talking to youth right now, whoever is here of the youth. Allah will ask everybody about his time, his term in life, and he will ask everybody about this specific period. It is the period of productivity that we really need to not waste it. And not, it doesn't mean that you have to do boring things, but don't waste it. This عن شبابه, Allah will ask everybody about his shabab or his youth, young age. What did he do with it? فيما أبلاه. How did he waste? How did he spend it? وعن ماله من أين اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه. And about his money. How did he acquire it? How do you make your money? You will have to prepare a question for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, an answer for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's question. How did you make your money? وفيما, not only how did you make it, وفيما أنفقه. من أين اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه. How did you acquire it? How did you get it? And how did you spend it? This is not the IRS. This is Allah Azza wa Jalla. He knows the secrets, knows everything. Nothing can be hidden from him. وعن ماله من أين اكتسبه وفيما أنفقه وماذا عمل فيما علم. And about his knowledge. What did he do with his knowledge? What did he do with the knowledge? نسأل الله عز وجل أن يجعلنا من الذين يجيبون. May Allah make us amongst those who give the right answer on that day, and be proud of their actions, inshallah. Allahumma. And another narration mentioned وعن جسمه فيما أبلاه. He will be also asked about his body. فيما أبلاه. What did he use it for? Those who are talking about, smoking, is it haram or not haram? We're not here to put anybody in the spot, but just anything that could, not only smoking, actually a lot of the food, the things that are supposed to be good for us, nutritious for us, it is like that. It is assumed to be like that, but many of what we eat nowadays and what we feed our kids, which is supposed to be nutritious, it's actually destructive for the body. And we tend to ignore that. We know that. We tend to ignore that. Most of the kind of candies and sugar and sweets and what have you, all of it. We have to really look into what, because Allah will ask us about your body. فيما أبلاه. Why did Allah give you body? فيما أبلاه. How did you put it into action, or how is it done? Is it done for salah, for helping others, for working and supporting yourself, for what? This is something that you will be questioned about. And the famous hadith also of al-muflis, when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, do you know who is the bankrupt? He said the bankrupt is the one, al-muflisu fina ya Rasulullah, man la dirham lahu wala mata'. He doesn't have money, currency, and he doesn't have mata', property, in terms of assets. قال المفلس من أمتي. The Prophet ﷺ said the muflis, the bankrupt of my ummah, is the one who comes in the day of judgment. This is a scary hadith. He comes in the day of judgment with salah. He comes with ya'ti bi-salatin. He comes with salah. He did salah. He comes to the masjid. He prayed. He went to the haram and he prayed. Salah. Was-siyam. He fasted in Ramadan. He did fast. Yet he is a bankrupt. Was-zakah. He gives zakah. This is scary. وَيَأْتِي وَقَدْ شَتَمَ هَذا. The problem is, he did the salah, he did the zakah, but he شَتَمَ, he insulted such and such, he abused such and such, he was cursing and cussing. قال ويأتي وقد شتم هذا وقذف هذا, slander, وأكل مال هذا, and he consumed the money of such and such, وسفك دم هذا, and he shed the blood of such and such, وضرب هذا, and he hit such and such, فيقعد فيقتص هذا من حسناته وهذا من حسناته, and he will be brought. This, the person he insulted or hit, the person he took his money, he will take from his hasanat, and the other person claim from his hasanat, claim his right from his hasanat. قال فإن فنيت حسناته, if his hasanat, all of his hasanat, good deeds are gone, قبل أن يقتص ما عليه من الخطايا, before he pays everybody, because this is the currency of that day. You can't pay in money, you can't pay in degrees or anything you might have in dunya. You cannot. You can only pay from hasanat and sayyat. So if everybody, if people, claimants, do not have their dues yet, you will, and your hasanat are gone, قال أخذ من خطاياهم فطرح عليه ثم طرح في النار. Some sins of theirs will be taken and be put on him, on his record, and he will be taken to the hellfire. Somebody who did salah, zakah, siyam, according to the hadith, didn't mention hajj, by the way. So, and he will end up losing. This is scary. So we have to really be extremely, this is again puts Islam in perspective now. Islam is not only salah, zakah, and all of that is from Islam. It doesn't guarantee you Jannah. Because this person in this hadith that's mentioned in Tirmidhi and so many other collection of ahadith, books of ahadith from the Prophet ﷺ, this person did salah, did zakah, did siyam, yet he lost. He will be taken to the fire. Why? Because Islam is not only to do that, Islam is to also be good, to do not curse and cuss, do not insult, do not consume the money of others, do not. So all of these we should take it into consideration. And all of us might probably slip left and right. What should we do? Here comes the next hadith from Abu Hurairah from Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قال رحم الله عبدا, may Allah have mercy on a slave, a servant, كانت لأخيه عنده مظلمة, who wronged a brother of his somehow. He did something wrong to his brother. في عرض أو مال, maybe it has to do with honor, it has to do with money or property. فجاءه, and he will come to him. You oppress somebody in terms of, saying a bad word to him, saying anything about him, or take money or anything that has financial or financial wise or honor wise. فجاءه, and he will go to him. فاستحله قبل أن يؤخذ وليس ثم دينار ولا درهم, and he will ask him forgiveness before there is no money, there is no dirham or dinar, there is no way you can do that. So we need to set the record straight in any way. فإن كانت له حسنات أخذ من حسناته, and he gives the details that were mentioned in the hadith, because on that day he will have to pay off by his hasanat and sayyat. قال ابن عمر gave a comment in that, قال يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين, the day that people will stand for the Lord. This is the day that he will have to pay everybody back if he didn't do it in dunya by asking. It could be easy here, asking somebody forgiveness, little things that sometimes we forget about. Maybe somebody, you have something with somebody, give him a gift. استمل قلبه. This is one way to get the hearts of others. Something is going on, maybe a little gift here and there, a nice touch here and there will make things right again. Quick hadith about al-hashr, the way the people will be gathering after death, after resurrection from death. يقول الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يحشر الناس يوم القيامة حفاة عراة غرلا كما خلقوا. People will be gathered, or hashr, حفاة, barefooted, عراة, naked, غرلا, uncircumcised, just as they were created. This is how will be brought to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he quoted the ayah, كما بدأنا أول خلق نعيده وعدا علينا إنا كنا فاعلين. Allah said, as we started the creation, initiated the creation in the beginning, we will redo it again. وعدا, this is a promise of ours, promise of us. وعدا علينا إنا كنا فاعلين, indeed we are capable of doing that and we will do that. وأول من يكسى من الخلائق إبراهيم, the first one to be offered clothing is going to be Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Prophet Ibrahim عليه السلام. ويؤخذ من أصحابي برجال ذات اليمين وذات الشمال فأقول يا رب أصحابي فيقال إنك لا تدري ما أحدثوا بعدك إنهم لم يزالوا مرتدين على أعقابهم منذ فارقتهم فأقول كما قال العبد الصالح إن تعذبهم فإنهم عبادك وإن تغفر لهم فإنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying, and some of my friends, they will be taken away from me left and right. And then I will say, oh my Lord, my friends. He said, you don't know what they have changed after you. If that happened to some Sahaba even who saw Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they happened to be with them, hypocrites here and there, it happened. It happened to that early generation, so nobody should feel secure for himself as long as you are sticking to the manhaj, the way of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is the only way. Quran and the Sunnah of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this is the only way. So seeing that, they will say, the angels will tell Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you don't know what they have done after you. There's no guarantee. In other words, there is no guarantee that they have been praying with you, doing good things with you. Allah, they are in Jannah. No. There's no guarantee that you're born Muslim and you do some prayers here and there. No guarantee. Actually, you have to have full hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have to have full fear from Allah, khashya min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah give us khashya and give us raja. Allahumma ameen.
It's not over until it is over.
It is not over until it's over. Ahsan. Imam Ahmad, he said, when is the first moment that you should feel secure? And he said,
After you get in Jannah.
After you put your both feet in Jannah. He said, nothing before that. The minute you put your both feet in the Jannah, خلاص, you're secure. Before that, nothing is guaranteed for you. يعني إلا بفضل الله. يعني we should also count on the raja, on the hope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, equally with al-khashya wal-khawf min Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, equally with fear and khashya min Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب, I see it getting kind of gloomy and negative maybe. So the next, actually, we have so many other hadiths talking about the full wasf of the full description of Yawm al-Qiyamah for several pages after that. Just pick one of the books of hadith and read the kalam of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Sometimes even without comments, when it comes to these description of Jannah, description of the fire, what Allah prepared for the righteous, this and that, read it for yourself. You don't have really much explanation. It's not about the halal wal haram. That's what we need to read because it gives us perspective of everything. I will conclude by one hadith, which is the next chapter, Abwab Sifat al-Jannah, the description of al-Jannah. And I said that in the Khatira a couple of days ago. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one person asked him, Ya Rasulullah, afil jannati khayl, is there any horses in Jannah? And what did he say, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? What do you think? We'll have horses in Jannah? If you want, yes, there's horses. He said, yes, min yaqutatin hamra tarkabuha fatutiru aw ta'khudhuka haythu shi'ta. Yes, there is horses, if you like, from you can get on it and it takes you, flies, literally flies with you, takes you wherever you want. And then the next person, another person, he said, Ya Rasulullah, fil jannati ibil, do you think there are camels in Jannah? And he didn't give the same answer. He said, in Jannah, he gave the first answer that like you give. He said, in Jannah, mashtahat nafsuk. Whatever your soul will desire, you will see it there. You will find it there. And I asked, I put that, maybe this is the mentality or this is the environment of somebody who is back then in the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He would ask, is there horses in Jannah? Are there camels in Jannah? But if somebody from our time will ask him, he would say, "What, Ya Rasulullah, for Jannati?" What do you ask him, Brother Ali? Cars, yes, okay. So, عايز صاروخ أنت؟ ماشي, okay, rockets and spaceships and what have you. Maybe we have a scientist back there, astronaut or something. And yes, inshallah, the answer is generic, is universal. مشتهت نفسك, whatever your nafs would like, being it Ferrari, Lamborghini, and you fill it. You fill the blank the way you want it. You you're gonna find it there in Jannah, inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala. Just if we work, inshallah, for Jannah, we are here